And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome! You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say. Hey, the Sagittarius. Welcome to Coin Place Tarot. My name is Corey, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. As a set of quick announcements, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That way, when uploads are made, you can see what the stars are trying to say to you. Also, if interested, individual reads are back up and open. Either message or email me directly. Link is on me, and we'll set it up, okay? So, Sag, what are we looking at in this round of reads? I'm liking having these going towards the beginning of the month, so let's keep it that trend. This is going to be your one-to-one read this month, Sag. One-to-one is a style of reading that I do that examines the relational dynamic between person A and person B. What's going on in between? Easy as that, right? Caveat to this style of read, two major things. The first, these tend to get called love readings, and I hate that label because sometimes they're not even lovely. We talk about everything at the table, and if it's not all rainbows and sunshine, guess what? It's still my responsibility as your reader to convey what I'm seeing, okay? The second, it doesn't always have to be about love. It could be about a friend, coworker, family member, neighbor, person you just met. Who knows? It's just asking the most important dynamic of what's going on between point A, point B. How's it intermingling? So as a preamble to the read, Sag, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, if it gets difficult, understand that I, as your tarot card reader, I'm not here to misguide you or mislead you. Trust me, we've got 12 signs and none of the time for that. Instead, we'll lay our cards out on the table, and good or bad, come rain or sunshine, we're going to talk about it. Because at the end of the day, tarot is a conversation, just an energetic one, yeah? So follow along with me in your read today, Sagittarius, this one-to-one read, you and your person, and yeah, let's see what the cards say. You're going to be on this side, and they're going to be on this one. So what's the cards that we need to see, please, between Sagittarius and their person? What are the cards that we need to see, please, between Sag and their person for this read? Ooh, take that. Okay, so on your end, Sag, Four of Pentacles, holding on to the dynamic, to the relationship. No, this is where I'm going to plant my feet. I'm going to buckle down on it. On their end, looking towards you. Okay, Temperance, the card Sagittarius. I take that not only as hoping that this thing will heal with time, but they're really looking towards you of like your leadership, your guidance, Sag. So if for nothing else, whatever decision you're making, they're also trusting your guidance of throwing caution to the wind here that, yes, this fight is worth it. What entirely it is, I'm not sure yet. But yeah, they're putting the full and complete trust in you. What do we do with that? So now that we have both parties on the board, let's look at fronts and backs. Fronts and backs in the style of reading where the backs are what's left in the unsaid or more left up to the unknown and it's not directly communicated. The fronts being what's more directly said, what's more directly stated, and the most spoken part of what's happening between the parties. So those cards we need to see, please, fronts and backs for Sagittarius in a one-to-one read. Fronts and backs. So for you, okay. Holding on because we want so much deeper in this relational dynamic. It's being directly communicated. What will the rest of our lives look like together? Okay. So this is more of the love read. Got it. On their end. Seven of Wands. Where are we guarded from? Six of Cups. Okay. So if the question is love or something even deeper, like the binding contract of marriage, Sag, On your end, you're saying, this is how I have my life mapped out. Do you want to take that journey with me? This is what that would entail, right? So we're talking deeper stuff, right? Now we're laying everything out on the board. Do you want to be a part of that journey? On their end, they value you and the place that you hold in their lives. However, they're guarded from taking that leap. What their hesitation is, I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think it's animosity geared towards you necessarily, or that they don't want you in their lives. If the question was marriage, that they don't want to marry you, is that quite literally they've never seen a good, oh, they've never seen one work out successfully. How would I explore that if I never really knew love? Got it. Oh, okay. So that person got some stuff they need to work through. So they look towards you, Sag. That explains it. Both of you are asking questions about a relational dynamic, the next steps, proverbial or literal, between you two. That's not really the debate. They want to be part of your life. They want to be part of your love in that journey. We're not going to debate that here. The question that they have is, how can I be a good marriage partner, whatever that's supposed to mean, if everything that I saw in regards to that and all the models of relationships I saw in regards to that were complete and utter trash. I've never seen a good amount of relationships. I never really knew love in that way. And now you're asking me to provide you with something that I myself had never seen given properly. So their hesitation is not you would be the one for that journey. The hesitation is what happens if I'm just going to repeat the same pattern? That they're being honest. I don't think any of that is geared towards you. I think that that's their past experience. Could be having grown up in a household where the non-love was the norm, despite a ring. It could be all these different factors that are not being equated right now, Sag. But what they are saying is that I want you to be that person if we are to pursue that. There is no doubt in their mind about that. Question is, what does it actually look like? And that's what we two have to talk about. Okay. Positions. Reveal each individual party's positions in this reading. What are cards that we need to see, please? Each individual party's position. Sag and their person this one-to-one read today. On your end? King of Cups. Okay. So we're trying to be emotionally mature about it. We're trying to understand their viewpoint, even though we disagree with it, to a sense. We're trying to say, hey, this person is trying to be vulnerable with me right now. Although if this was anybody else, I'd probably say you're full of BS. But here, you're actually saying, okay, what happens if this person is telling me the truth, right? What does that genuinely look like? And how can we work on that together? So you're trying to be open-minded about it, but even more so fair in a sense that both you and them can thrive on their end. Knight of Wands, the freedom of the spirit. Are they brave enough to take that leap? It requires action, but it also requires, going through that motion. Underneath it all, the Emperor, card of Aries, the power of choice making. We can choose to repeat past models, or we can also say that, no, I want to carve out a much better and more likable future between you and I. Let me be abundantly clear at this point, Sag. Both parties want to be in this relational dynamic. That is not what's up for debate. What is happening right now is that that person has such bad experiences. They could have been growing up, again, like I said, in abusive or just a household where love was not either expressed or really on the table. Or they could have been in a flat out marriage or relationship that failed. So now you're asking, let's take the next step. And they're saying, I don't know what that looks like. Genuinely. They're not saying they don't want you in their lives. They're saying, in the most honest ways they possibly can, I don't know how. And I think that that's a much deeper conversation for you and them to have. Okay. Next, now that we have one person looking at the other, one-to-one, let's see what's being held down the middle. So those are the cards that we need to see, please. One-to-one read. What occupies the bridging gap between Sagittarius and their person in this one-to-one read today? Down the middle, what is shared? Three of Wands, so much anticipation for what could be ahead. Devil, the card of Capricorn. Are we going to give in to our worst vices because a challenge has been made? The Fool, the power of a new beginning. What does this genuinely look like? Nine of Cups, both will be genuinely fulfilled if we're able to make that leap properly. And last, Eight of Pentacles. We're actually more well-practiced and well thought out than we originally gave ourselves credit for. Underneath, the High Priestess. Internally, both people have made the decision that, no, I want this relational dynamic with you. Both towards each other. That is not the tougher question. The question is, how will we do that when one party feels totally unequipped or just have had terrible models and examples of what that's supposed to be or look like? The problem isn't them. The problem is what the problem is, and both of you are trying to tackle it together. Okay? Last, as we move towards resolution, first define the major arcana strewn across the table in Sagittarius read. First, let's look at Temperance. Why are they looking towards Sag for clarity, guidance, and answers? Why are they choosing to let that be the soul's pathway to healing with time? Show us cards with the see, please. Start with that Temperance and push forward. Ace of Pentacles, a new opportunity. Yeah, they want to experience that with you, Sagittarius. Please do not take offense to what's going on. It's just that they just don't know if they're equipped to handle that. And it's not coming from a bad place or a place of isolationism. It's just quite literally, I've never seen a marriage than new love. If you ever have heard or seen something like that before, where you had two people in a relationship for just the longest time for no apparent reason. They clearly don't like each other, et cetera, but, you know, we had to stick together because time. We're already 20 years in time, and that's the only reason that you have these two people that don't like each other sticking together, right? That's kind of the model they're working off of, or something very similar in terms of the void of love in a relational dynamic like that. Next to the Devil, Page of Wands. That we only put it to little optimisms. And that goes in different directions. On their end, the attitude of if only, right? No, it could be a possibility, but we got to work through our stuff. And on your end, oh, this was just a fanciful idea on my end, but while not taking into account all the things that they're generally trying to tell you, even if they don't have all the words for it, right? If we minimize what we actually feel and we don't tackle what's becoming a bigger issue in this dynamic, it could start to lead to resentment towards each other. And that's not what's going on here, Sag. I'm just going to keep on repeating this. It is not them that's the problem. It's both you versus the problem. Next to the Fool, the Magician. Even with all the worry, manifesting a new life together. What does that look like? So, the resolution. Death, card Scorpio, and alongside Death, oh, okay, Eight of Cups. Underneath it all, the Hierophant. What is our true pathway here? Because if we can't decide what we truly feel, if that person can't decide what they truly want, if they're brave enough to tackle the bigger things going on within, this might not stand a chance. And again, we're trying to be as emotionally fair and viable right now, Sag. But the transformation, we either walk away from our old vices, walk away from, the tried bad habits and the models that we had before and say we can make something new, or we give up on it entirely. It's only going to go in one of two roads. So either we tackle the issue together, or we both fall apart and keep on looking back and wonder what could have been. Recap says, long story short, they want you in their lives, you want them in yours. That's not what's up for debate. What's happening right now is when it comes to taking that extra leap to do whatever bonding pattern you have laid out, this person feels ill-equipped to do so. However, they still want you in their lives, not from a utility standpoint of like, oh, I'm just using Sag, but rather if there was somebody I think I could found that with, it would be you. Feelings are there. But now here comes some deeper things. Are we just saying these are nice feelings and not doing the internal work? Or will we do the internal work on both ends? Both parties have internal work to do to tackle the ongoing issue. Because either we tackle that issue together of that person's concerns about a deeper dynamic and wanting to know what that feels and or looks like genuinely in practice and in real life, or we both give up, walk away, and wonder what could have been. It's either or, but it's not going to be shared. That's why I got into reads today, Sagittarius. I hope this conversation helped. And yeah, it's kind of a toughie. If this is your relational dynamic, you need both. It's about time to get real honest with each other, because either we're going to the next step or we need to call it quits before we start hurting each other for real. It's just where it is. I'll see you around, okay? Take care.